So we are now on the exterior of the boat. So you came back from a sail, and now we're gonna show you how we want you to leave the boat. So Janko, start.
Okay, let's start with the lines first because that's the most important thing after the fenders. Let's do the fenders first and then get to the dock lines. We put them here on the lifelines, and with a clove hitch, you all know how to do this. I show you once more. You set the fender that it's just over the surface of the water, that it's not dumping into the water and swimming there, not too high, because we want to have it between the boat and the dock. So then you hang it on the right height. Hang this over here that you see how deep the lifeline pulls down, and then you make the knot starting out like this, going over on the other side, pulling it through. You can leave it either on slip like this, which means I just pull this open, or I don't put it on slip but pull it all the way through like this. And this is a proper clove hitch to have the line properly prepared. This is holding the fender very nicely. Second one sits in this position here, right on the stanchion, so that we see we have two fenders sitting against the dock. If the wind is blowing the boat against the dock, we leave with the lines a little bit of slack, that we are not scraping up the whole boat. And this one can be moved because it sits in the middle of the lifeline. Gets again slightly different knot here, but we all use the clove hitch. The height is okay of that. So this is important when we have the boat, that we don't pull it too closely to the dock, because it shouldn't be tied up to the dock, but it should have a little breathing room. So you remember, when we come back to the dock, we use this line, which is always fixed to the dock. We never take that off, but it is very helpful if you come into the dock going backwards. You just pull this and lay this sling just over the winch, which helps you to stop the boat before it goes backwards into this piling over there. So, but this is a temporary line which comes off after we have all the other lines on. But this is our first line when we come back to the dock. Then we decide of the wind direction, if we take in first the bow line or the stern line. In this case, while you're here, let's have a look at the stern line. This is beautifully done. You set the line up on the hitch, on the cleat, before you come back to the dock, and be prepared with it. This is just hanging once over here. It's a perfect cleat hitch, not too many. We don't want to have 3 loops. We want the classic 2 loops and have it set up.
You want to show us?
Yeah, I show you. And then you make this Flemish roll, which is wonderful because you don't slip and roll over the lines, but you just can step on it. So this is how we do this. We come in, we go around in a 3/4 circle, 270 degrees over the cleat. Then we do our first cross. Then we come back, do the twist, do our second cross, and this is our knot. This is our cleat hitch, and this is all there is to
Remember,
it.
a bridge over 2 rivers.
Okay, so, and that's what we do on the other ones too. So we're going backwards a little bit. So we have here another one. This is our spring line, which we will leave permanently, and I'll show you what the big difference is. This line runs completely free from that cleat over to the cleat on the dock, while our temporary line, look what it's doing. It's chafing here. So this kills the line if you leave this with the boat moving. So this is why this is a temporary, and we take that off, replace it with this one, which runs entirely free. And you see what happens to lines when they start shaving. There will be, at some time, we have to replace this, and we don't have to do this. We can set them without touching anything. And then we have the same thing here. If you see forward there at the bow, there's the anchor cleat. We have a bowline permanently set on this. Go out through the fair lead with the line itself, and then it goes. Yeah, very important. And then you put it on here first, and then on top of that comes the spring line. And this is how we dock the boat.
Okay, perfect. Now let's discuss the shore power.
The shore power, yeah, very important. We want to get our batteries charged, but it is crucial, really important, that you secure the line. You don't want to have somebody electrocuted or making it short for everyone, having 110 volt in the water. So it is important, if you have a look here, for example, this is the outlet. You put that in the very last thing when you come from the boat, you set and secure the line first on the boat. You take it out of the locker. You see on that cleat that is wrapped around once, and you also see there's not enough slack on this. So I will loosen this up a little bit so that it has a little bit more swing without hanging in the water. Then we have a second secure line around this cleat, and that should take any tension off here if the boat ever moves. So it is really important to have a connection that the line, the cable is connected on both of the cleats so that it can't fall into the water. Okay? I will make this a little bit longer now and set it up properly, so because you see there's a little bit of tension on the cable, and that is not good.
And don't forget, it's a tidal area, so because the tide changes, that could also create a different positioning of lines and anything as the tide gets higher or lower. So this is why you want to leave enough slack, but make sure that it's not in the water and yet still safe and not blocking the boat from moving. Okay, if you know that severe weather is coming in, it would be great if you could put another line onto the stern. You can attach it to this cleat over here that right now the shore power is attached to. There are extra lines on the port side lazarette. You pull a line, then you just tie it off on an angle to this side, and then you take that line, that stern line, and you tie it off to here. Okay, let's do sail cover.
Okay. The sail cover you close up as soon as you take the mainsail down while you're still outside. It has a zipper, as you all know. You pull this thing up forward all the way. What is important at the end is if you pull the zipper up to here, here's this additional little line which goes and connects. If you can see this, it's going through both of these little eyes, and then it goes around the mast. And it's always good to leave any lines which are going upwards out of this equation. So you just tie it up. You can do a shoelace knot or whatever you want. This is not so crucial, but make sure that this is closed and up. The main halyard, as you can see, is going up to the flag. So we take that off before we get ready on the winch.
Make sure that there are 1 or 2 wraps around the jib.
Yeah. So it's not very much. If you have a stormy day,
yeah,
you put
it
another
got stuck.
wrap around. Yeah.
The line.
Second?
We were short of line.
Yeah, we're short of line.
Yeah. Okay.
Also,
Now.
it is very helpful if you belay the sheets on the winches and put a little bit of tension on it. That helps people going forward and backward to hold on to something. Coming back.
You're putting just a little bit of tension, not too much.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also helpful so that line doesn't fall in the water by any chance. So this is how we want you to leave the jib sheets.
Okay, and don't forget, at the end, we take this one off. The jib sheets, you set the line totally normal. You go around a little bit to at least lock it in through the feeder and let the rest hang here. This is okay. The other one is the furler line, which is really important to have. You see, this is a normal cleatage here again, so we keep a little we don't keep the tension on it. We roll the whole thing up, and then to avoid any screw-ups, we keep a little bit of tension on this line, put it on the cleat, and this line is beautifully done. You see, this is properly coiled. It's coiled around itself. I show you again how to finish this off here. It looks harder than it really is. So if you have your coil to go here, you start coiling up the rest by one more, by going around like you learned it the classic way. Starting one under and go with the other ones over, and depending on how much material you have, you do 3, 4, 5 coils. Then you take a loop, stick that through there, and come with the loop over the whole thing. Pull this down, and this is a beautiful coil then. So to hang this somewhere, you make another loop, you stick that through there again, hold this, and then you take the bitter end, go through here, and it hangs on itself right now. So this is beautiful, and then we take, like for the fenders, a clove hitch and hang this whole thing on the lifeline and be done with it. Okay, and this is nice because that line doesn't lay in the water now, but it hangs dry. Doesn't matter if it rains, it always dries up again. Make sure at the very end that your cleat hitch is not opening up. This is kind of dangerous, so make sure that you pull this around this way. Okay.
We need all the halyard, the sheet, and the reef lines all coiled nicely over the winch over there.
Yeah, I see.
Make sure all cleats are shut off.
And that the rope halyards are all closed, right?
Yeah.
That you have a little bit of tension, that the lines are not flying around anywhere, that you have enough tension on the main halyard, and then coil them all up. Make sure that you have the traveler line as well secured. And you see what we usually do here is if you have the end of the line, you coil up the end of it and loop that once around itself here, and this is good as a temporary solution, and for keeping the lines on deck this is absolutely fine. For these lines I would really
The backstay?
put them per bow. Okay, the backstay, if you have used that in strong winds, you don't know how to do that for sail shape, you want to release this at the end of the day so that the standing rigging is not under any tension. So pull this line down like with the main sheet and let this line out till it's hanging slack and lock it in a little bit again. So now you feel the backstay is much looser and the rig can work with the wind and the movement of the boat. You tighten this only when you want to put more tension, flatten your sails, the jib and the mainsail at the same time in stronger winds. Otherwise you leave this out, and especially on downwind courses you always leave this out. But it's a wonderful thing to have. Okay.
For the flag, so what we do, we tie off the long end of the flagpole basically to that triangle over there.
Yeah.
You can do a simple clove hitch, and
Or
then
round hitch with,
you attach the top part of the flag to the main halyard, and then you just make sure to stretch the halyard as much as possible. It really needs to be tight and as parallel as possible to the backstay, and this is how it would hold. That's it. This is Veronica inside and out.
don't forget to put the keys down below, and if you have the winch out here, put that down below too, please.
Winch handle goes down below, key goes down below. Lock the boat with the boards, and that's it. We hope you had a good time. Bye.
Bye.